Well, it's about that time. Time to, don't mind the mess, you know, whatever, go into 4 low. Let's go. Got my Insta360 a little bit wet. I don't know if it's allowed to get wet. I forgot to check. I think it is though. I don't know. Alright, another day, another start to mapping for Onyx Off-Road while living full-time on the road. So let's go! One thing I hate about mapping is gates. Lots and lots and lots of gates. Lots and lots of gates. I think they call this road pipeline because there's an actual pipeline that probably goes throughout the whole road. Probably. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's a metal pipeline. It's probably not used right now, but I mean, I think that's why they call this road pipeline. What do you guys think? Do you think that's why they call this road pipeline? I think that's why they call it pipeline. That's the one part I hate about setting up cameras. Is walking to get it, especially when it's hot out. It's really hot out. Alright, GoPro. Sorry, Insta360. I keep calling it a GoPro, but it's actually the Insta360. Holy cow, it's hot, guys. So hot. Oh, but the FJ looks gorgeous. Wow. So I absolutely love doing Onyx off-road trail mapping, but I don't think it's a long-term type of thing. And the reason I don't think it's long-term is there's only so many roads before you have no more roads you can map. Now granted, that would take a long time, but you know, let's say, oh, I just want to stick around to the Pacific Northwest. There's only so many roads in that area that I can map before there's no more to map. And then what? Well, yeah, you would move. You go to a new state, which you could keep doing, and that is something that you could do for quite a while, but it's not something that you could fully rely on for the fact that a lot of people are mapping trails now too, so there's more competition. Go to an area and map a trail, and somebody had already mapped that and they submitted it before you did, and now you did that work, but you're still not getting paid for it. At least I think that's how it works. I'm not 100% certain how that works, but I think that is how it works. But it's not something that you could be like, oh, I'm gonna do this for the next 10 years. No, it's more like, I can do this for maybe a year or two. So I'm still trying to figure out how to make money and live on the road. As you know, I do YouTube. You're watching it. But it doesn't pay yet. It pays a little bit, but it doesn't pay enough to live off of. And I still owe on the FJ Cruiser. There's a lot of things I have to do on that FJ Cruiser, and honestly, I've just been tempted to hate to say it, I've been tempted to go back to a normal job and do Onyx off-road on the weekends to get a savings up and use that money as like the money to fix the FJ, which would be nice. I can do that. And honestly, the reason I'm not doing it is because I do still have to live in the FJ Cruiser. I wouldn't have somewhere to live in Washington. not necessarily because I wouldn't be able to find somewhere, but the fact that I wouldn't really be able to afford rent anywhere. I mean, unless somebody let me rent their place for like dirt cheap, and by dirt cheap I mean like $400 or $500. Even then, that's pushing it. You know, I did that for a while, and that was a struggle. I didn't have a lot of money left over, and it wasn't paying off in the long run for like getting all my stuff paid off. So honestly, the only way I could really focus and get stuff paid off is if I lived in a rig and worked full time. And that's just not easy in Pacific Northwest for the fact that, well, yeah, my rig. You know, I really do have a lot of things I need to think about. And I wasn't really planned on how I was going to stay full-time on the road. You know, I always thought, oh, well, you know, as I'm on the road, something will just come to me. The universe, God, whatever you believe in would help me find this key to being able to live on the road. And it's not as simple as that. I mean, I'd love to think that way, but I can't just sit around waiting for something to happen. I do have to go after something. And it's hard when you struggle with anxiety and you struggle with depression, and you try and tell yourself you're smart enough, you're brave enough, you're strong enough, you can do this. But, you know, there's days where you just tell yourself, well, you're not worth it. You can't do it. Why are you even trying? And I really need to stop thinking those ways, because that's what's hindering me from finding this thing that will keep me on the road long term. And until I just start focusing on how to get there, I'm going to keep focusing on how I'm not there. And that's not a mindset that you should be in. And I'm slowly learning that, you know, and it's hard when you're dating somebody as well, because you want to be with that person and you want to spend time with them as much as you can. But with mine and Phil's relationship, Phil's pretty much free to go anywhere he wants. He's built that life for him. He's worked hard to achieve that ideal situation that he wants. And I say ideal, but it's everybody's opinion on what the best situation is different. And he's built that. He's able to do it. And I'm not currently able to do it. So we have a lot of uncertainties on what might happen in the future. If I'm not able to find some type of income source other than Onyx Off-Road, DoorDash, things like that, that's actually stable, that I'm able to do, I may end up just having to go back to, like I said, Washington. And that would be hard, because then our relationship would become long distance, I guess you could say, because I'm not going to make Phil just stick around in Washington. He wants to live a free life, being able to go anywhere and everywhere he wants. And I don't want to hold him down by me needing to get a job. That's why he did what he did, to get away from that type of I can't think of the word, but that type of confinement, you know? And so it gets kind of hard sometimes thinking, how am I going to do this? And what is going to happen? And yeah, it's stressful at times. And I appreciate everyone that tries to help and support me. I truly appreciate you guys. So thank you. So I don't think it's the road because I'm on the road, but I think the pipeline does sometimes go into the road, but like there's another part of the pipeline. So I hope you enjoy this short music that really, really, I think fits how I feel.
Calling from something that's we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown, leaving everyone behind as their slow fires die down. Once we left, we found it harder and harder to slow down, 'cause we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown. 1,000 good miles. The years have come and gone, but we're right where we feel we belong. And anyone else would have turned back by now. But we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown, leaving everyone behind as their slow fires die down. Once we left, we found it harder and harder to slow down. Yeah, we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown, leaving everyone behind as their slow fires die down. Once we left, we found it harder and harder to slow down, 'cause we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown. 1,000 good miles. Yeah, yeah, 1,000 good miles. Oh, 1,000 good miles. Oh, oh, yeah, 1,000 good miles. Ooh, 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 yeah. 1,000 good miles.
This is why I love my life. Let's go, guys.
And that's where she'll go.